Welcome to another how-to video on the channel. This is Extinguisher 10, and today we are finding out how to scout and draft linebackers with the goal of getting, of course, the best player and potentially Superstar X Factor. So starting off, the first time that you can scout is in week 3, which is where we're at, and by default, you get 175 scouting points. If you get the upgrade package, which I will show you how to do later when we have enough XP, you'll get 200 scouting points each week, which of course that 25-point bump will get you approximately one player that you can scout fully each week. But enough about that, let's jump right into the scouting. So over here at the position tab, we're just going to jump over and start with, you know what, let's start with the middle linebackers, the off-the-ball guys. And just to give you an idea of what kind of linebackers there are, or at least in the middle linebacker section, you have pass coverage, run stopper, and of course field general. But for scouting, you don't want to waste your points and just scout everyone all the way across. You want to just go and hit the first column. In fact, we'll just go all the way down. So we've hit everybody in the first column, at least as far as the linebackers who are predicted to go in the first 7 rounds. And of course, the remaining ones would be undrafted. And of course, as you can see, B+, B+, B, B+, A-. So everyone's kind of in the same general range. I would probably skip out on this guy, and everybody else so far in the first column anyway, they look good. B, that's not great, but he's projected to go in the 6th round, so if he stays high across, he still could be good. So let's just go and hit everyone in the next column. So I've gone through, hit everyone in the 2nd column. I accidentally did do the guy that I said I wasn't going to, just wasn't paying attention. So I wasted the points on him. But looking across at everybody so far, I mean, no one's dropping off incredibly bad, but this Wes Johnson here, he is looking fantastic so far. A-, A-. Boy, hope that stays high. And yeah, this looks like a solid linebacker class. But with that being said, let's hit everybody in the 3rd column, at least as far as everyone who looks like they're worth scouting that far. So now we've hit up the 3rd column, and as you can see, I skipped the top overall guy, but you can kind of see why. B+, B, and being in the 1st round, he just doesn't even, he looks like the same as this Juwan Brown here, who's projected to go in the 3rd round, and it says he has, well, and you look over here in the green diamond, 3rd round talent. That's probably what Chance Portis up here at the number 1 spot is gonna have. Of course, the combine score can affect that, but based off what we're seeing, I wouldn't bother putting the points into him. I'd save him. If he has an insane combine score, yeah, maybe throw the 5 points at him, but otherwise, don't waste your points. So just give you a little profile on each of the linebackers. Really, with any of them, there's a high chance that you'll have tackle or awareness in there. Pass coverage guys, you should see maybe man, more likely zone. You of course might see hit power for any of them. The run stopper, you're more likely to see something like power moves, finesse moves, but even more likely is that you'll see block shedding. And the field general, he's kind of in between. You can kind of see any of it. Oh, if I didn't mention awareness. Oh yeah, and of course, if I didn't mention pursuit, that's also one that you could see really with any of them, but more likely with the run stopper or the field general. And just to give you a quick idea of how good the players are, if they have a green diamond, they can't be horrible, and if they have a red diamond, like down here, really the back end of the draft, except for Willis Finley here, the red guys, you want to avoid those. Those guys are going to be big-time busts. But now moving over to left outside linebacker, these guys are going to get a different range of linebacker. You have, of course, run stopper, just like the middle linebacker, but there's speed rusher, power rusher, there's another one, and where's the coverage? There we go, and pass coverage. And really, the names are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to bother telling you about them, but we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did with the middle linebackers over here. Well, I went through and did all 3 columns, or at least for the guys who looked like they might have been worth it. And this is an atrocious class of left outside linebackers. As you can see, I didn't get very far with several of these guys, and the ones that I did, all of them had red diamond. Wow, that is seriously impressive on how bad that was. Let's go over to right outside linebacker and see if it is any better. Before I tell you about what I saw with these right outside linebackers, you are going to see the exact same types: power rusher, speed rusher, pass coverage, and run stopper as far as the kind of linebackers you're going to see on the right side. But talking about what we see, it's not much better than the left side, but It is better. It is better. There's fewer guys, but there were a few guys who were actually worth looking at. Stephen Mickle, James Bibbs, and okay, that's it. Just 2 guys. But at least we have at least somebody we can draft and go, hey, you're halfway decent. But before we get that far, I'm going to skip ahead and show you how to upgrade your coach. And here we are in week 16. We finally have enough points to show you how to upgrade your coach. So what you do is go over to team, down to coach, spend XP, and it's going to be the very one that pops up. There it is, 1400 XP. It is completely worth it. Increase, bam, you're done. Now you get 200 scouting points each week. And actually, as you can see, we have 149 scouting points. And the reason for that, we would actually have a lot more, but only half of your points carry over from week to week. So if you don't spend it all, you lose half of it. And it rounds down, so make sure that you use as much as you can each week. And here at Super Bowl week, I'm going to show you a little trick on how you can guarantee that you get hidden development with the player that you draft. So you go over from things to do over to league, hit up news, hit the tab over to draft stories. Right now there's only 3. Some stories come and go throughout the season, so it's good to check every few weeks. Looks like Peter Schrader is saying, one of the greatest performances in All-Star Game history, turned in by Chance Portis, #MVP. So we'll have to see if he's a linebacker. And also Charles Davis is saying, my sources have pointed to Martin Hyde as a player who could go a lot higher than previously thought. #NFL Draft. And Matt Miller says, receivers had Alexander's number at the All-Star game. He had a target on his back. Okay, so Alexander is probably a defensive back, but let's keep an eye out for all 3 of these guys. We want to avoid Alexander because it says something negative about him, and it will guarantee that he has normal development. The other 2 guys, Portis and Hyde, we want to look out for them and possibly draft them, or at least bump them up on our little draft board, because it will be a guarantee that they have some sort of hidden development. And of course, if you have hidden development, it is greater than normal. And it looks like Chance Portis is actually that linebacker that we had scouted and then stopped before, because he looked like one of the lower guys. I think he looks like, let's see here, one of these 2 guys. He looked like one of the guys down here who was a 3rd round grade. And now if you look at him, he is better. A- and B+. So the skills kind of changed a little bit. Well, now let's throw that 5 points into him, because now it looks like it's worth it. And says he's a 1st round talent now. Still doesn't look fantastic. A- tackle is great. B+ awareness, that is something that is great if you're simming or if you're not using him. But if you're using him, awareness means absolutely nothing to you. But B hit power, that's good. I would rather see something like pursuit, block shedding, something along those lines. But hit power's okay. It's a good stat to have if you're using. So I see one stat that says it's great for using and one stat that's bad for using. But let's click on them. And down in the lower right-hand corner, you see talent, early 1st rounder. So they're projecting him to go pretty early, and well, that's what he was projected to go earlier, but they're saying he is worth it. He's 21 years old, which is also something you want to keep your guys as young as possible, because the younger a player is, the faster he progresses. 1,000 XP with a 21-year-old is going to go way farther than, say, a 31-year-old. So keep that in mind. It shouldn't be the end-all be-all of your drafting strategy, but it should be a tiebreaker. We are now in off-season free agency number 2, and this is where you can first see the combine scores for your players. And when I say your players, I mean the players in the draft. You know what I meant. So over here in left outside linebacker, the guys that I didn't scout, like up here at the top, they look okay. Well, they are better than everybody. Okay, for the experiment, we'll throw the 5 points at them. I'm a little iffy on it. They're more athletic, but I don't know. They dropped off. If it stays up, oh wow, okay. So he stayed up with that extra athleticism, made it so that he's apparently worth that he's a 1st round talent, late 1st rounder. whereas he's projected to go early second. And we're going to see hopefully the same thing over here, but maybe not. And see, it drops. It's almost the same across the board except for the finesse moves, but you just never know. But you're only seeing the top 3 skills, and after that, you have no idea. And that's where the diamonds come in handy, because with Walter Wright, it stays up there. But with Andrew Veal, it clearly just drops right off the cliff. And here, middle linebacker, Perry Banks, he's pretty athletic as far as the overall combine grade. Of course, you can click on it and get a better idea right over here of how good they are. He's very strong. He's pretty average elsewhere to, well, I'd say above average. Pretty well-rounded, but let's throw 5 points at him just because. And hey, because of that extra athleticism, even though his skill points aren't that great, they're just good enough, and his athleticism is good enough that it looks like he's a 3rd rounder. Now, of course, he's projected to go in the 3rd, so he's not going to be any kind of steal for you, but he's still going to be worth taking in the right circumstance. But down here, Wes Johnson, this is very interesting. His skills, slightly better than the next guy. I mean, really, Angelo Brooks is probably the next best guy, followed by, I'd say, Chance Portis. But they are way more athletic. Without looking at the details, just a quick look. 6.8 and 6.8 combine grade versus 5.9. That is a huge difference. That's why he's projected to be a mid-second round talent. But he's still going to be a decent steal for you because he's projected to go in the late 3rd round. And he's 21 years old, so he can progress. So he would be a very good value pick for a team. And really nothing too crazy looking at the rest of the linebackers. At this point, I want to show you how to add players to your draft board. So I just tabbed over, just did scouted players, and the easiest way to do this is just hit triangle on PlayStation. It's I think Y on Xbox, and just start adding guys. As you can see in the upper left hand corner next to their face, there is a star popping up, and you just go through, add everybody. I'm doing it this way in the main menu, so that way it's in the order that they're projected to go. Makes it easier, gives you a base on how to sort them all. So now we're in scouted, bump over to draft board, and as you can see, there's way more middle linebackers than outside linebackers, so take that as you will. And this year's Madden is extremely accurate with what the diamond says. So these guys, 1st round talent, 3rd round talent, 2nd, 6th. So in past years, it gave you a ballpark, but there is some good sway. This year, it's pretty spot on, so it kind of makes it pretty easy to draft the best guys. Of course, you want to go with your best style, go with your instincts. If you want someone who's fast, check out the grades here. 3rd best, or as far as 3rd fastest, for Chance Portis. Angelo Brooks, he is 13th. He's very strong, but he is slow. So for me personally, I'm not too happy about that. So I would kind of bump him down the list. In fact, let's do that. Well, he is below Chance Portis. Stephen Mickle, he's very athletic, very, very athletic. 21 years old, pursuit, tackle, and awareness. For a pass coverage linebacker, that's decent. I would say I'm gonna put him ahead of Angelo Brooks. I think they're pretty close, but their styles are very different. Walter Wright, let's zoom in on him, and it says he's a late 1st rounder, projected to go in the early 2nd. He's fast, he's pretty athletic, not super strong though, 22 years old. He's got a great finesse move, and not much after that, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to leave him right where he's at. And then you have these 3rd round, as far as projection, linebackers, middle linebackers, and they're all showing 3rd round talent. But if you drop down a little farther, here's Wes Johnson, the guy with the tremendous skills and the so-so athleticism. We definitely want to bump him up, and that athleticism isn't great. Plus, like I said, those diamonds are pretty accurate, so I'm thinking I'm going to leave him right here. He's projected to go around later than Walter Wright, and his skills are projected to be about around later too, so I think that's the perfect spot for him. And right back down here, we have James Bibbs. I know he's projected to go in the 4th round, but he's a 2nd round talent. You don't pass on talent. He's athletic-ish. yeah, as you can see, the numbers are above average. He is 21 years old, high hit power, and this is what I like seeing out of run stopper. High tackle, high block shedding. Those two are great, and I think he's going to be great for what he is. And I would probably bump him up to, I'm going to say right here. I think that's a good spot for him. And we just have to decide between these three middle linebackers who all look, actually, you know what? They don't look close. Paul Leonard, he looks way better than everybody else. Decent, he looks decent there. Oh, Juwan Brown, not as athletic. His skills aren't as good, but he is fast. So I like that. And Perry Banks, he's more athletic than probably both these guys, but he's older. The skills aren't as good. I definitely like Perry Banks as third, but really speed is the only thing that's that impressive. Let's see here. Pursuit, tackle, hit power, pursuit. Okay, it's all the same. Hit power is probably the least important of the group. I just have to leave it in this order. Paul Leonard, Juwan Brown, and Perry Banks. I know Paul Leonard isn't as fast, and speed is so important in Madden, but he just looks so much better outside of that speed that for me, I just have to go with it. This is our draft board. It's pretty, we only have 10 guys. That's a little disappointing, but let's jump into the draft and see how we did. All right, so here we are in the draft. We have the first overall pick. We also have the 24th and really a bunch of picks. That's one of the reasons why I chose the Dolphins, because they have so many good picks. And Chance Portis, is he worth the #1 overall pick? He looks good. He doesn't look amazing. I'm going to say maybe 5th in true talent. No, I'm going 7th in true talent. Taking him too early, but I want to see it. I'm thinking 76 overall, maybe 77. Let's draft him. Here we go. And 76, I was right. 4th in true talent. He does have hidden development, and that is great. Let's see some of the numbers here. 85 speed, good enough. 77 hit power, it's all right. 74 block shedding, 82 tackle. He just looks like a solid linebacker who hopefully has tremendous talent or who hopefully has a tremendous development trait, which I will show you later. But for now, let's continue on to the draft. All right, back here in the first round, we have the 24th pick. Please tell me some of our guys are still here in the draft board. Oh, and we missed out on some of them. It is what it is. Stephen Mickle. Yeah, that's right. He looks decent. I'm gonna say 74 overall. Let's go. 71. Ooh, this draft is dropping off quick, especially considering that it says that Steven is ranked 19th in true talent, and we took him at 24. It's a good pick, at least for this draft. As you can see, I mean, everybody is graded against each other as far as skills. So I think it's going to be doing this number, but hidden development, good for where it is in the draft, and that's really all you can ask. Now here in the second round, we have Walter Wright, our last remaining first round talent guy, projected to go early in the second round. I'm thinking, 70. Let's go 70. 70, all right. So it didn't drop off too much. Of course, not too many picks later. 28th in true talent, we took him at 33. Hidden development, again, we are striking gold so far as development trait goes. Definitely want this guy. I was saying something. What was I saying? Ah, yes, keep in mind that you're more likely to get hidden development higher in the draft and increasingly less and less and less likely later in the draft. So at this point, we might just get normal from here on out. Wes Johnson, I'm thinking 68 overall. Ugh, high skills. 68, there we go. We took him exactly where he's supposed to be. Wes is ranked 51st in true talent. We drafted him at 51. He was the best linebacker on our board. And so far, we're going in the right order. And yeah, this is going exactly how we want it to go. And we lost a few more linebackers off of our board. We have James Biggs here, projected to go in the 5th round, but he's a 2nd round talent. With the first pick in the 3rd round, I wouldn't normally take him. Because we have the 10th pick in the 4th round. That is where I would normally aim to do it, but not going to bother here. We're just going to get through this. I'm going to say, this is not going to be good. Like we talked about earlier, this linebacking crew between middle and the outsides, especially the outsides, is not very good. 65. 67, all right. I am glad to be wrong, because it's still in the right order of how we were sorting these guys. And 59th in true talent, we took him at 65. And with our last pick, we are taking Willis Finley. We're taking him way too early. Keep that in mind. It's gonna tell us that we reached. We know. God, 64. Yeah, maybe even 63. 60. Ooh, that's gross. But still, it's still probably pretty good for where it was gonna be if we would have taken him in, like, say, the 6th round, the 7th round. You kind of know this guy's a career backup, never gonna start for you. You don't want him to, and yeah, that's just gross. Let's get to the draft summary where we'll see what kind of hidden developments these guys have. All right, so here in our draft recap, let's see what we have and hidden development, and we're gonna go down to edit our player. Of course, this is not the way you would normally want to, but we want to see his development trait, and oh darn, it is just star. But keep in mind, you can advance the development trait of these players. For instance, Levi Steed in my Bulldogs franchise, I drafted him. He was hidden development, he was star. About a third of the way through the season, I got a chance to upgrade him by one of those challenges that they give you in the menu, and we were able to get him up to superstar. And then through winning an award, I don't remember which one, at the end of the season, he went up to SuperStar X Factor. So he started his 2nd season as a SuperStar X Factor, even though he was only drafted as a star. But we're gonna check out Stephen Mickle, and I wanna know what his trait is. Probably gonna be star. That is easily the most common, and yeah, it's star. We'll have to progress him on that one too if we were to do a season with this. And then Walter Wright. Let's see what Walter Wright has. And darn it, they are all star. That is super disappointing. But really, anything higher than star is very rare. It is tough to actually draft the guy. You need to progress him. But getting that star gets you one step closer to Superstar X Factor. Yes, granted, you can get a normal development guy up to Superstar X Factor, like Levi Steed, the way he progressed. I'm sure by the end of Season 2 or the beginning of Season 3, he'd be Superstar X Factor anyway, but because he started off as a star, he's that much closer. And really, there you go. That's how you get your best players. Unfortunately, this class was not very good, so it didn't give us much of an opportunity. I mean, as you can see, everybody just dropped off real bad, real quick. So the luck of the draw was not good, but that's how it is. The draft is a bit of a crapshoot, but you make the best out of it, and I'd say we did pretty good with what we had to work with. We saw a linebacker going in the 1st round who was a 66 overall. Well, look at this. We didn't drop below 66 overall until our pick in the 4th round, and we knew we took him 2 to 3 rounds too early. And really, no one else dropped that low. And a 67 overall out of James Bibbs, who we thought we were reaching on a little bit anyway, and he was the 1st pick in the 3rd round. Yeah, we did all right. We did better than the computer as far as the linebackers go. So just a little recap. You want to upgrade your coach so you get extra scouting points. You don't want to fully scout every player unless every player looks amazing, but you don't want to waste those points, so you can use it on other players and maximize your opportunity to find the best players in that draft. Check out the news to see if somebody is guaranteed to be normal or to be guaranteed to have a hidden development. We already knew ahead of time that Chance Portis was going to have hidden development. He did. Unfortunately, it was star, but knowing that you have hidden development just makes it that much better. And always use your draft board. It'll keep you organized and help you prioritize who you want to take, so that way you don't just rush through and go, oh, I missed this guy, or oh, I missed that guy. I could have taken him. And if you like this video and want to see more, jump on down, hit that big red subscribe button below, and go ahead and hit that big ol' like on the video. It'd really help out the channel. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, we have our Madden 20 franchise series featuring the London Bulldogs. And I just started up Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. But if Madden scouting and drafting is your thing, go ahead and check out other videos I have on one of the playlists. It might be right here or right here, maybe down here, I'm not sure. But we have other videos on how to scout and draft players on the channel. But until next time, this is Extinguisher 10 signing out. Have a great rest of your day.